German sits with a grin so wide. Pogs on the table can't hide his pride. Creator in the corner starts to glare. Madness sparks and hate fills the air. Stack 'em high, a tower of luck. Germans winning, it feels like pluck. Alice Matt's fury, a brewing storm. Visions of pogs in every form. Pogs are spinning, tables turning. Alice Matt's eyes with fierce fire burning. Germans' laughter echoes loud in a world that's pog-bound proud. Matt sees and he's mad insane. Eyes on fire, can't take the strain. Pogs and pieces drive him to pain. His patience snapping like an old chain. And he's mad insane. Eyes on fire, can't take the strain. Pogs and pieces drive him to pain. His patience snapping like an old chain. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann. Alas, Matt fumes can't take no more. Pogs and slammers hit the floor. It's not about the game you see. It's about what fun could be. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann. Du bist nie gewinnen, Entenmann.
Got my good friend Helmet in the background. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show today. Why do I have an accent? I don't know what the fuck. Oh, I haven't seen this guy in a minute. Nano Reaper, welcome, Nano Reaper. Oh, well, I was gonna say hi to you, but you're already putting in the racist emojis. It was not necessary. Not necessary. Kuma says I've not watched this movie, but I'm here anyways. That's quite the opinion because KSS says I don't know if Chinese Ghost Story is typical horror, Hong Kong horror or not, but it was utter dog shit. I have my opinions on that, believe it or not. But we're gonna get to that. And then actually after watching the movie yesterday, I'm like, I think we're gonna be deviating just a slight bit from the format of what this streams are supposed to be about. So I'm gonna talk to you guys in the chat about next week's movie. So everybody but Carol. I'm not including Carol in the conversation because she only brings violence every time. Every time she brings violence. When we just want to be united and nice and kind and polite and professional, she comes in with violence and bloodlust every time. Why can't you be like my good friend Plungecast? He says, hey, yo. Because he's professional. And he cares. And he matters. Carol, you can learn from Plungecast. This community needs more Plungecasts. And less tables from Carol Colors. Yeah, I said what I said. I wasn't mincing words. I said what I said. Just drop in and say, hey, yo. Yes, that's the... Have a good one. Oh, you're leaving? Oh, okay. Okay. I see how this goes. You're going to come in, say hi, and leave. Just do it. Fine. I'll talk to the Void. I don't care. I'll talk to the Void. The Void cares about me. The Void loves me. I'll be friends with the Void because the Void doesn't judge me ever.
You guys want to go get some DESSERT? Yeah, dude, I need me a TREAT.
What you guys talking about?
Yeah, why did you guys just spell dessert?
No, shut up. Don't say it.
Why?
Oh, God, how do we tell you this?
Simon can't spell.
What?
He can't spell, so when we talk about something he wants, we spell it out loud so he doesn't get too excited.
He's a grown man. He can't handle hearing the word treat?
Treat? No treat.
Treat?
No treat.
Treat?
No treat.
Oh. Okay, what is happening?
We told you he gets excited when he hears the word TREAT.
What you talking about? Taxes.
Oh, shucks.
What, so you guys just treat him like a toddler?
Treat? No treat.
Treat?
No treat.
Treat?
No treat.
Oh.
Dude, you gotta spell if you're talking about FOOD.
Okay, so are we getting an SNACK?
Snack?
Oh, come on,
Oh,
man.
dude, really?
Oh, come on, I spelled it.
Well, he knows how to spell snack.
So he can spell snack, but he can't spell treat?
Treat? No treat. Treat? No treat. Treat? No treat.
God damn it! Okay, he's getting fussy. It's time for an NAP.
Yeah.
What does NAP spell? Party.
A party here and a party there. I'm working with some people to try to get some new intros for these streams because I don't think it's appropriate, even though it actually is kind of appropriate because pogs are horror, but I don't think pogs fit in with the theme of a horror stream. And we're talking about horror movies. And actually, I had a conversation with a lady at the con this past week, and I'll share that in a minute. But regarding horror movies, and I don't want to deviate too far from what the original peoples had wanted when they started or when they wanted me to start doing these Monday horror streams. We don't want to talk about any single movie, but we want to keep it within a certain type of horror movie, specifically more monsters and more classical, because I think people in this community of this demographic adhere more to the horror movies of yesteryear. So it's going to be an interesting stream today. We're going to see how this goes, but yeah, I'm going to be making some decisions going forward after watching this movie, and we'll talk about it because it is considered a horror movie, and it has elements of horror, but like I said, I will talk about it. I'll talk about it. On that note, let me go ahead and play. What's another intro I should play? Oh no, let's play a trailer. I've played a trailer before, but I like it. I'll play it again.
See King Kong battle the Kong of Steel. Challenge a copter squadron. Defy an army of tanks. Fight primordial monsters. An all-new adventure. King Kong escapes. Thrilling in Technicolor.
It is totally thrilling. 100% thrilling for that. Let me play one more intro. Actually, let's see how to the chat quickly. I think some more people's typed in the chat. Did I say hi to Lorenzo Sleestack? I don't think I said hi to Lorenzo. So, hey, Lorenzo, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Show your face for the heart. Okay, it's not even like we're not even. Well, actually, we are kind of 5 minutes in, but you're banned. You're banned. So from now on, your words have no meaning. There's no authority. Not that they ever did, but there's no authority on your words, Carol. You're banned. And for the rest of you guys in the chat, if you don't want to be banned like Carol Colors, be nice and respect me. I'm a comic creator. I deserve respect and reverence because I am that kind of guy. I would not say you're old, Akuma. Never. I would never say you're old. I think you're refined. You're definitely refined. So, yeah. But I am working on some new intros or getting some music so I can do intros because the Pac song doesn't really fit into the theme or the mood of these streams. So I want to differentiate from the branding between the Monday streams and the Thursday streams, and then have intros for like random streams like the draw streams that end up becoming more than draw streams, and any Q&As that I do. On top of the videos I'm editing and uploading now, and the engagement I'm getting with those, and I have some more ideas for future videos too. Like I'm not doing the everyday video reporting on the news of the day. I mean, it's a great cheap way to build your channel, but I don't know. I like making these little mini documentaries. I like making videos that have like replay value and you can like watch it over and over. I think I get a kick out of that. So I do want to stick to that, but I don't want to let too much time lapse. So I'm keeping my eye on this community, on the stuff that's going on. So yes, you are banned. Yes, you're banned. Oh no, yeah, you are, Carol. You are. You're the banned now. So you're definitely banned. That's right. So that table, because guess what? It's not gonna hurt anybody because you're in the banned. You're in the banned dimension. You can't hurt people with that table now. I've protected people. Erotic ghost story? No, this is not an erotic ghost story. This is actually no. It's. I don't think it's not. It really is not. Before I let my guest in, I'm gonna play one more intro. Everyone's favorite intro because you deserve it. Not I shouldn't play it because like I said, I really want to do these Monday streams. I want it more horror based, more monster based, and these intros really work more for the indie comic outlier streams. Which last stream was actually pretty good. We actually had a good time and it was very informative. But I do want to differentiate from the branding. So let me bring in my guest, my guest host, and I'll use this as his intro because it fits in with the theme of Monday Monsters. Why not? My good friend Helmut, the Moot of Hell.
Good evening, my friend, and
I had to fix the arrangement of our windows, but yes,
the beautiful chat, who
the
is
chat
always
is
so
lovely
nice.
here. Yes, it is. It's a very lovely chat. Although there's some controversy about whether or not Chinese Ghost Story is considered a horror movie. I mean, it is labeled as a horror movie, and a lot of reviewers do count it as a horror movie. But what are your thoughts before we discuss the movie Helmut, Moot of Hell? What are your thoughts on the movie?
I like the movie still. It is, in my opinion, not a 100% horror movie. It's more of a mixture of different kind of movies. It has elements of a love story, elements of a martial arts movie, elements of a fantasy and mythology movie, but it all fits good together.
I am noticing, and maybe it's because it's still early, and usually, we're only 14 minutes in, but usually, like, we'll get maybe double digits. But the view count is kind of low right now, so I guess not many fans of this movie here. But it'll probably go up. Oscar says Gamera #1. Gamera's pretty good. I like the Gamera movies. I mean, they're not as superior as the Godzilla movies, at least not the original Gamera movies. But the Heisei Gamera movies were top-notch kaiju films. So, oh look, it's Guy. It's Guy. By the way, you know the word Guy in France is pronounced Guy?
Gouet.
He is Guay. You know, from now on, your name is Guay. So I'm not gonna call you Guy in this room anymore. I'm gonna call you Guay. Your name is Guay going forward. So Guay, welcome back to the band dimension. You're back to being banned. Go join Carol there. So the rest of the chat, those of you who are not banned, those of you who are good and care about enabling and nurturing this community, I thank you for your kindness and professionalism. So, oh yes, I was going to share my screen because I did put the movie up on the browser. Chinese Ghost Story. Actually, I got to see if it'll even play properly. If it doesn't play, but I'm going to play a clip here. This is one of the special effects sequences. Hopefully, I won't get struck for it. But this is one of the special effects sequences in the movie, and it's very 80-esque. So here we go. Hopefully, it's not you can see the stop motion, right? I like the sound effects too. And there's definitely a lot of spooky shots. And this is fair use, commentary fair use. Looks like the frame rate is pretty good. So okay. Yes, there's a lot of good shots, a lot of shots like that, with the cinematography, and it adds to the spookiness of the movie. So that was one of the special effects sequences in the movie. Now, my thing is there isn't a lot of that throughout the movie. There's some great shots, there's some great sequences, some set pieces. It is fantastical throughout, but I felt like it is listed as a horror romantic movie, and it's definitely romantic, but I feel like as a horror movie, it was kind of lacking. And I'm gonna shut up and hear your thoughts, but I've seen a lot of horror kung fu movies, and my favorite is, and I've been very clear about this. My favorite is Sammo Hung's Encounters of the Spooky Kind. To me, that was a great mixture of kung fu and horror. And then I have a special spot in my heart for Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, another great kung fu horror movie. But I don't think this one was ever labeled as a martial arts movie. It was simply labeled as a horror romance, Chinese set piece supernatural movie. And let me just read this comment from Oscar Stage before I hear what you got to say. Mood of Hell. He says Chinese historical war movies are the best. Lots of extras. Red Cliff rules. There you go. So let me shut up for a bit. Let me hear your thoughts.
I think, or I got the feeling when we rewatched, I rewatched a movie, you watched it for the first time, but when we watched the movie yesterday, I got the feeling that they tried to put a lot of different stuff into that movie and it lost a little bit the focus.
Yeah, yeah. So, and when watching it for the first time, I was like, yeah, there's some they could have if they kept it simple with like the love story, and then like having like the tree demoness who's the main villain of the story, having having it focused on defeating her, and then doing the whole like Sifu teach your people thing, and more monsters. And yeah, this would have been kick ass. And I'm not saying this movies didn't kick ass or good. It's just I feel like it didn't live up to the hype in my opinion. The story was okay. So the name of the main character is Ning. He's a tax collector, right? And he's going to town to collect taxes, and then he runs out of money, so he ends up having to stay in a shelter in a deserted temple because he can't afford to pay an inn or anything. So he is in a temple, and then he meets this woman who's Nip. That's her name. Nip. Yes, that's her name. And he falls in love with her, but it's later revealed that she's a ghost, and that she's under the command of this tree demoness. I forgot her name, but that's what she's known as tree demoness, and that she's bound by her, and that Nip's remains, are buried at the foot of a tree, and unless her remains are buried and put to rest, she's enslaved by this tree demoness. So Ning has to enlist the aid of this older guy who's a teacher. I think his name is Yin, right? And Yin helps train him to fight the tree demoness, and ultimately helps restore Nip's ashes. And then I won't say any more than that, but that's more or less just of the movie. Now, some scenes have like the undead coming out. There's some interesting weird special effects involving a giant. I want to say like a giant tongue.
It was.
But
It was.
Yeah, it actually sounds better. I'll just lower the audio for a second, but yeah, so there's a lot of like fantastical set pieces, a lot of chase scenes, but the fight sequences are not really martial art inspired. So if you're looking for like martial art inspired, with like hopping vampires or zombies or things like that, it's not in this movie, and it really needed more like horror set pieces. And like I enjoyed the movie, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5 in terms of like Asian horror movies. And when I say Asian, I mean even including Japan and Korea. Like I would put Yokai Spook Warfare in my top 5 Asian horror. I would also put in there Matango, aka Attack of the Mushroom People. And then I would put, of course, Encounters of the Spooky Kind, Osama Hong, Legend of Seven Golden Vampires. Just off the top of my head. So go into the chat for a second. Guy or Gue, who's banned, more like Evil Dead 1, almost comedy, silly horror. Actually, Evil Dead 1 was more horror than comedy. I think you mean Evil Dead 2. That was more comedy and less horror. But Evil Dead 1 was definitely serious horror with some comedy thrown in there. The comedy was not as prevalent as it was in part 2. That's probably a movie we should do at some point. But yeah, let me shut up, Helmut. Let me hear more of your thoughts.
This movie reminded me of 2 other movies, and it's good that a Gwei in his room reminded me of that with his comment. This movie reminded me of The Last Unicorn in the sense of otherworldly love story between a human and a mythical creature, in this case a ghost, but in The Last Unicorn, the unicorn. And it reminded me of the camera work from Sam Raimi, especially Evil Dead 1.
Also, so the first act of the movie, there is that Evil Dead cinematography happening, but the camera work. So yeah, that is a good point, and it promises. The thing is, that's what it is. It promises that horror element, but I don't think it fully delivers it throughout. And that's just my gripe, but maybe it's because that's how it was sold to me. But it is a well-made movie, like beautifully shot, good set pieces. The I guess you could say like the ghoul scenes were well done too, but like you said, there was like too much going on, and I feel like they could have focused more on the ghoul scenes and then balance it out with the love story between Ning and Nip. Ning and Nip. That's what a fucking spare name for love. It's just saying it is weird, but that's their name. So wait, never heard of any movie you just said. Well, here's the thing, Guy, you're banned. So if you never heard of it, it doesn't bother me because you're banned. You're banned. So I hope you enjoy being in the banned zone because that's where you belong, in the banned zone. See, Carol's in the banned zone and she hasn't typed anything since then. She understands. She gets it. You should too, Gui. You should too. I'm just saying. KSS says, this movie wasn't a horror, it was horrible. Okay, KSS, I want you to give me your thoughts. So I'm going to do some weird, KSS. I want you to give me your thoughts in the chat. Let's read your thoughts, because I want to see if I agree with some of what you said, because I don't think the movie was horrible, but I did feel kind of overwhelmed. So I'm going to see if what you say has anything that I tend to agree with. Oh, look. Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. Did I was getting your fish back. Of course you were. Of course you were. I knew you'd do something like that. It's within your brand. I get it. I totally get it. But yes, I want to hear what KSS has to say about why he thought it was horrible, because it's interesting. I'm just curious to hear other people's thoughts. I'm being held in the ban zone by the evil D word tree. Yeah, go. Yeah, do it. Why do I highlight these people's chats? I don't understand. So we got to figure something out, because this is going to be a short stream regardless.
No, I have some thoughts.
Oh yes, okay.
There is an American horror movie from the 80s that suffers from the same problem as a Chinese ghost story, in my honest opinion.
Oh, okay.
And
This is good. Yes. Yeah.
That's Near Dark.
Near Dark. Okay, yes, I am familiar with that movie. I haven't seen Near Dark yet, so
yeah, I'll explain it, because Near Dark is also everything. It's a horror movie, it's a western, it's a road movie, and it's a love story. And it tries to connect all those parts, and does on several occasions not a good job. And that's what happened also with the Chinese ghost story.
Okay. Yeah, KSS kind of agrees. He says it was totally all over the place. The comedy was cringe, the characters are one-dimensional, and the protagonist is a moron. So yeah, okay. So regarding the teacher-student relationship in the movie, it wasn't well done, in my opinion. Like, you didn't really get to fully know what was the teacher's name? Yin or something? What the heck was his name? His name was
Yang.
Yin. Yeah, okay. His name. Oh, what the hell? So that's the thing. The main character is Ning, the ghost is Nip, and the teacher's Yin. There's too many is. Like, that's the thing. Like, okay, you need it to. I don't care what culture it is. You got to create like names that are like tonally different from each other, because they sound phonetically similar. It's going to be confusing when you're when you're trying to name these characters and referencing them. So that's why I have to like have a source in hand to know these names, because they sound phonetically similar. But I feel like with Yin, the teacher, like, we didn't know too much about him. We didn't get too much of his backstory, and you don't get to really see like him teaching or training Ning the way that a teacher or Sifu normally trains their student in these movies. So that was one thing that was like really lacking. You know, we don't see that, so it didn't develop that properly. So yeah, so that adds to KSS's gripe about the characters being one-dimensional. And yeah, tonally it was all over the place because the first scene of the movie was definitely horrific, meaning horror based, and it you would have thought it would set the tone for what the rest of the movie is, but then it goes into a different direction, and it's like, oh, what happened to the stuff in the first scene of the movie? That was what hooked me up. So,
I mean,
yeah,
they up the horror stuff at the end when they are going in the underworld and fighting this
yeah,
demon king and his army. But it falls very short.
yeah. Gui says the Japanese movie house is kind of the Japanese movie house. It's kind of like that, but it's a lot better in my opinion. So yeah, I've heard good things about House, the Japanese the movie, not the American movie, but the Japanese movie, and they're both different movies, not one version of the other. But Ken says, where's the horror? It's more romantic comedy. The horror, okay. So in the first scene, if you remember the first scene when we were introduced to Yip, his fucking names,
Just call her Susie. I thought about her as Susie all
yeah,
the
we'll call her
time.
Susie because it says Su Ching or something, but fuck, I'm gonna call her Susie. So Susie, the ghost, the female ghost, in the beginning she's seducing this guy, and then we see the Evil Dead camera work happening, and then he gets killed, and it's like, oh wow, okay, there's that, and then early when I showed you guys the scene with the moving corpses, there's that too, and you're thinking you're gonna get to see more of that, but you don't. That's the thing is because you don't get to see more of that the horror aspect gets really put to the side, and it's more just romantic comedy, some supernatural stuff, but that's really it. Um, and the thing is, I wouldn't even call it kung fu. Like there wasn't much kung fu in the movie. There was some swordplay or wuxia. There was some wuxia in the movie, but very very minimal wuxia. So it doesn't even work as a kung fu movie.
The thing is, with that movie, I did some background work
Yep.
for the stream. This movie is based on a mythologic story
Right.
from some era back in the days, and they put the martial arts part and the part of the swordsman into it. It wasn't in the original story, so that's why it feels unnatural and not connecting in some parts.
Well, I've read that the movie was based on a short story about Ni Xiaoquan, who was a Qing Dynasty writer. Oh no, that's the story. The story is Ni Xiaoquan, and the writer was Pu Songling, and he wrote this in the collection of short stories called "Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio." And he's a Qing Dynasty writer, so it has Chinese historical value. I mean, for us, it doesn't really matter as Americans or Westerners, but in China, it had that relevance. So that's probably why. That's probably one reason why this movie was a big hit in Hong Kong. It wasn't a big hit in China because it wasn't released in mainland China for a long time. It was actually banned, I believe, or China didn't, or just never got to be released there. But mainland China didn't play this movie for decades, and then later over the years, it was finally given a release in China. But yeah, it did have that Chinese historical relevance to it. So, KS says, I've seen Japanese horror, Kwaidan, Onibaba, Ringu, all brilliant. Hong Kong horror ain't got nothing on Japanese horror. No, Chinese horror, and when I say Chinese, I mean Hong Kong horror. So Hong Kong horror. Most Hong Kong horror is hybrids. They're either hybrid comedy or hybrid sci-fi. Actually, I would say this, KS says, of all the Hong Kong horror movies that I have seen or read about, the best one that's really straight horror that I would say would be as close to Japanese horror would be the 1,000-Year-Old Cat. Have you ever seen that, Helmut?
No.
Okay, so the 1,000 Years Cat is a sci-fi horror movie from the 80s. It stars Philip Kwok, who's one of the Venom members, one of the Five Deadly Venom members, and it's a mixture of John Carpenter's The Thing. It's got a little cop action in the movie, a little bit of Terminator style action, but it does serve as a horror movie, and it does it really good. And a lot of people in the West haven't heard of it because it didn't get that mainstream release. And for a long time, there wasn't even a subtitle version of it. Like I had to track down Like my copy, I had to track down subtitles and burn it onto the movie just so I could enjoy it. But it is a very good Hong Kong movie, and it's probably as close to horror as a Japanese horror movie really is. But if you're looking for straight horror, Japan does do it better than Hong Kong. But Hong Kong horror movies are like hybrids, so they do more with the horror stuff, and it creates for something kind of unique. Before I do House, I want to if I want to do a Japanese horror, I want to do either Yokai Spook Warfare or even what's another one? Maybe I could do House, but I do want to do that. I also wanted to do The Cat because I think as a Hong Kong horror movie, it was a better movie than Chinese Ghost Story. I think more people would enjoy The Cat. Let's see, Journey to the West and Romance of the Three Kingdoms are the best Chinese stories, says Oz Great Sage. I was initially excited, says KSS. I thought this was going to be interesting. I like the whole horror set in the past, but there was not enough horror to be horror, and the comedy is cringe. Have you ever seen Encounters of the Spooky Kind, KSS, with Sammo Hung? If you haven't, let me know, because that movie had some good comedy, some great kung fu, and it definitely, when it needed to be horror, it was definitely horror. Oz Great says Korean horror movies are better than Chinese horror. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that is very true. Is it Train to
Busan?
Busan was definitely a good horror movie. I haven't seen I don't think I've seen The Host yet, or maybe I have. I don't remember if I've seen The Host, but I'm trying to think of other Korean movies I've seen that were pretty good. So yeah, they do zombies really good. They do zombies really good. They do it almost Italian style, but better. So yeah. Gui says, "How's it silly though? Comedy mixed with kind of horror." I'm all for that. I like I said, I'm good with horror hybrids, but I think the horror part has to be consistent for it to be for me to work. But then it opens up the conversation about like all these Asian countries and how they do horror, and I don't want to do successive streams on Asian horror movies because I think we should go back to like more monster related, some more classic horror monster related stuff. But we're just gonna continue the conversation here because it's just an interesting hearing people's perspective on this movie and Asian horror movies in general. But I do want to do my own little streams on my favorite Asian horror movies. But that's just me.
I will watch the second and the third part to find out if they did those better, because I can't remember exactly when I watched the last time the second and the third one.
Oh, I mean the Chinese Ghost Story?
Yeah. I mean the second one is a sequel, and the third one is kind of a remake from the first one.
See, this is a poster for which country is this? This is from Ghana. Okay, this is the poster from Ghana for Chinese Ghost Story, and if you're looking at this, you're expecting something different, and you don't get it. This is not what happened. This is not what the movie really has. But this is a case where the poster is just really fun to look at. Like a lot of these 80s horror film posters were better than the movies themselves. So yeah. KSS says, Encounters of the Spooky Kind. The title doesn't sound inspiring. Oh no, trust me, this is I gotta show a trailer for this, but and Brian Christopher says, "This is awesome. If you like this, I recommend Encounters of the Spooky Kind and its sequel." Yeah, I was just talking about that. KSS doesn't know it, so should I show a trailer for that? I show a trailer later on, but trust me, it is, the title is uninspiring. But the movie is a lot of fun. It does the comedy better. It has excellent martial arts. And some of the horror scenes are actually well done. And the sequel, Encounters of the Spooky Kind 2, I prefer the first one, but the sequel has more horror elements than the first one. Not as much kung fu, though. There's more like comedy and horror and some drama in the sequel to Encounters of the Spooky Kind, but not enough kung fu. There's more kung fu in the first one. I think the first one is just an overall better experience than the second one. The second one is good. I definitely recommend it, but I think the first one is just better. Ghana posters are hilarious, says Michael Deach. Yeah, this is a funny poster, but I like looking at film posters because it's a part of the film's history, number one, and it gives you number two, it gives you an insight on the countries that are important in these movies and how they want to market it to their public. So poor Leslie Chung, super tragic what happened to him. Oh, what happened to him?
He killed himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that
Well,
kind of
I have a good fact about that guy. He
yeah.
sung the song of the movie. That was his voice.
Hmm.
And the main title is a banger. I love the music from A Chinese Ghost Story. They did the music very well.
Okay, says this, I'm fine with horror comedy making mistakes. I love the Evil Dead movies, American Werewolf in London and Return of the Living Dead. But A Chinese Ghost Story was a goofy rom-com, hardly any horror. You will definitely love Encounters of the Spooky Kind. I think someone made the comparison to Evil Dead 2, which I'd agree. It actually Encounters of the Spooky Kind is Evil Dead 2 meets Kung Fu meets comedy. Although Evil Dead 2 is kind of comedic. So let's say Evil Dead 2 meets Kung Fu. That's how I would describe Encounters of the Spooky Kind. And there's probably a conversation about whether or not we would include Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires as an Asian horror movie. It is an Asian co-production with Hammer Studios, but some people think it's more Hammer than Shaw Brothers. But I think it's a good mix-up. We have Bat Sauce. I mean, well, I guess the joke is though. We should give the joke a rest. It's Student of God. He says, "What's up, homie? What's up, Student of God? Welcome to the stream. Back from retirement, he is, and he's doing the Lord's work out on Twitter right now with all the shenanigans out there on Twitter, and seeing some key figures in a defunct indie movement now calling for doxing. Talk about horror. Now they're calling for doxing. I have my thoughts on that, but not for today's stream. But he's doing the Lord's work. The Student of God is so." Keep it up, and we'll bring some awareness to some shenanigans. But let's see. Guy says the main character was also a sib with not much personality. Yeah, I didn't feel that way. I felt like Ning, what the fuck? Nip? Yip? What the hell's his name? His fucking names. The lead character, the goofy guy. You didn't really kind of feel relate to him as a person. He didn't have much to do. You don't get to really feel any kind of sympathy for him.
Yeah, but he portrays a character that is typical for fairy tales and mythology. A naive guy with a good heart is almost in every fairy tale the main character.
Yeah, but so like I go back to Encounters of the Spooky Kind. Look at Sammo Hung's character in that movie. Like same kind of role, but not romantic, but in terms of like the goofy guy thrust into a situation, like he does a role so much better. And I think we'll play a trailer for that later on to say so you guys can see the difference. But I feel like this movie was in many ways like Encounters of the Spooky Kind without the romance element, and that movie just does it better. It does a lot of things better. But he says, this was a terrible movie, and Elasma and the Helmet must send Lady Shadowband to a proper spa for the hell they put me through. I lost hours of my life watching this assault to my brain. Well, I know how to make you feel better, KSS. You can go to roadwarriordrake.com and you can buy a copy of Beast System Road Warrior Drake. By the way, the hard copies are in my possession. And I'm going to start beginning shipments will happen this week. And I can't wait to get those books in people's hands. So, Brian Chris got 7 Golden Vampires is great, but it would have been classic if the fight scenes had been better. Yeah, I mean, I think it could have had better fight scenes. I like the fight scenes overall. Like I thought the first scene in the village and then the second scene in the prairie with the rogue Chinese warlord gang, whatever they were. I thought the fight scenes they were pretty good. I think what happened was there was a clash between the film's overall director, Warrior Ward Baker, and Shaw Brothers director Cheng Che, who's the guy who gave us the 5 Deadly Venom movies later on. And there was like a conflict because like Warrior Baker wanted to do the whole movie, but Chang Cheh was like, let me do at least let me do the action sequences. So there was a little bit of conflict there. And that probably hurt the movie because of that, because Chang Cheh wasn't given the full on reins to really do those action sequences the way he wanted to have. But it's still a fun movie. It really is. In a fight, and there are some good fight sequences in that movie, and I still recommend it. So, it's one of those like, what if Chinese Sims? Oof, Guy has no love for this movie. Chinese Simp story. So, Student said, "No, I'm still retired. My tweeting was way down." Okay, so you're semi-retired. You're that senior citizen who gets Social Security but works part-time. That's what you are. So you'll get that $700 a month Social Security check that nobody can live on. You pay yourself into a system that steals your money, and then when you get your spot in the line, they give you chump change, and then they're having to pay more to keep you from offing yourself or taking the community's resources. So you're that guy that gets that $700 check, and then you like, oh, I still have to work, so you have to work part-time just to balance out the hotel bill. That is you, stupid of God. So, Wilson Yip, I don't. His name is Yin Yip. I don't care anymore. We're gonna call him Simp Guy. I think the chat wants me to call him Simp Guy, so he's gonna be called Simp Guy now. So we're gonna call him Simp Guy. I think you know what's funny? Simp has I. Damn it! It's all still I. There's no tonal diversity in these names. I have to say, with her, the scene with her sitting on him in the tub of water was an unexposed. Yeah, that did happen. Is Vampire the D considered a horror movie? Actually, in some review circles, it is. That movie and Legend of the Overfiend are considered horror movies, even though they're anime, but they're also considered horror movies.
I consider Urutsu Kidochi as porn, alas, man.
Some
It's
people
hentai.
Okay. Yeah. It was okay. So we're gonna deviate a bit, but fine, we'll have it. It was considered the first hentai movie, and some people consider it porn. And yeah, the scenes that have those porn shots are really bad. Like it is NC-17 rated, so it is definitely pornographic. But if you take those shots out, it is actually a very good story, and what remains is a horror movie with a very nihilistic setting. So
I think when I think of manga and anime horror movies, or kind of horror movies from 80s, 90s, I think of Berserk, for example.
Yeah.
Because Berserk has a lot of horror thematics integrated. The whole demon stuff and the God Hand, which all look like characters from Hellraiser.
Yeah. And that's the thing with anime is that it is so mature that you could actually separate some of these movies and put them in their own category. And I think horror is one that's been discussed with these anime movies. So it's a testament to how mature those movies are that they can actually put in those. Lady Shaban agrees, but I don't know with what, but maybe oh, okay. So I'm not behind the chat. She says that we should put her in a spa. So there you go. A Chinese spa says, Gui, this is why you're banned. This is why you're banned. Chinese spa? Really? Really?
Gui.
Oh, Gui. Yes, I'm sorry, Gui. Yeah, Gui, you're banned. She says she'll take a Chinese spa. Oh, look, it's my other abuser, Bear. He says, hey, guys. Hey, Lasmat and Hillman. Have you sent Lady Shadowman to the spa? I'm working on it. How about that? I'm working on it.
No, he's not. Don't believe him.
I am. Let me catch up. Well, Angela Curry's in the chat. Hello, Angela. She's Hero Ferraz. That's her version of King Chang Tong. So, hail. There you go. Okay.
Hey, don't make fun of Shane Davis's wife. That's man. No.
I said no. I disavow. I said no such thing.
That is a horror movie.
Oh gosh, I completely disavow. Let's see. I'm gonna go down further to the chat. Suda God says simping on some laid back. Oh, okay, that's an old rap song. Yeah. Let's see. KSS says, let's call him what he is. Dipshit simp who thought he was gonna rescue a friggin' ghost. Yeah, that was see that was okay, that's actually the plot for the second Encounter of the Spooky Kind movie. But it didn't have a romance element in that movie. And it was a better movie, but I still thought the first Encounters movie was better, much better. Superior even. And we should play a trailer for that later on so you guys can see it. Let's see. Wait, Goody wants to know which one was the prawn. Urosoki Doji, Legend of the Overfiend. That's what we're talking about. That's what we were referring to. But that movie, yeah, that movie was the first depiction of hentai. And there's a discussion of whether or not it really is a hentai movie because of the story. See, it's not a straight up hentai movie. There's actually a story in Legend of the Overfiend that is horrific and even nihilistic, but it's pretty well done. The story, very complex,
and it has vaginas with teeth.
Oh, I didn't listen. I didn't say it was. Never mind. Okay.
Tell me when I'm telling lies about that movie, last man.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. It is the X-rated scenes are X-rated for a reason. So it's just that the story was very good, and the animation was actually top notch for what it was. But yeah, I don't recommend watching that movie though. Unless you're like me and you edit out those scenes, I wouldn't recommend watching it if grape scenes are queasy for you and you don't like vaginas with teeth. So yeah.
If you want to watch that without the porn, watch Berserk. That's my recommendation.
So okay. So apparently, movie posters from Ghana are a thing because Andrew Curry is like, "Is this a movie?" Yeah, this is from Ghana. Yeah. This is Chinese ghost stories from the Ghana, the movie poster, which by the way is a better depiction of the movie than the movie itself because you got this weird helmet-looking thing carrying a headless guy's beheaded head and skulls, most of which doesn't even happen in the movie. So, yeah.
Bear says I have to call you a cheap ass pock.
Who said that? Bear said that?
Bear says I have to call you a cheap ass pock.
Okay, hold on. If you're gonna,
I'm wrong. You are a cheap ass pock.
If you're going to accost Lady Shadowban say anything, I'm gonna get paid. So it's gonna be in super chats. I'm not gonna
call you a cheap ass pock for free.
I am not gonna engage in this divisiveness because we're a united front, and you people in the chat who are abusers are not gonna divide us. You're not gonna divide us. It's not gonna happen.
I had to get up to do that.
So anyway, so Kay says hypothetically, even if Close Encounters was a spooky kind isn't on the list, I'd watch it and hate it. Will you take Lady Shadowman to a real spa then? I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna happen. Why can't you just let me talk about? I can't. Oh wait, look who's here. Oh, look who's in the chat. Wait, hold on. Wait, before I read this, you know what's gonna happen. Okay, now I can read a stupid chat. He says, "Good evening. What are we talking about?" I can sense the smugness in those words. I can sense your attempt to derail it because you're not here in good faith, Jabby. You're definitely here in good faith. KSS says, "What are we talking about, last Matt?" And Helmut's dog shit taste in Chinese stop movies. This was chosen by the chat, by the way. KSS. Maybe you have a selective memory, but we actually put a poll in this, and y'all chose that.
Yeah, it's not our fault. Or at least not mine, because the peanut head is at fault always.
Yes.
what
I
I
just got a
wanted
night
to
letter. Hold
say.
on, I was just responding to a night letter. So there we go. Okay, okay. Let's see here.
I would be interested in you watching the second and the third part and tell me how you like them.
Do you think they're better than the first one?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, look.
Especially the third part, who is kind of a remake from the first one. So yeah.
Oh, Jabby says, "Home to get a haircut." Aha! 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 You people? What are you people? This is why you're banned, guy. This is why you're banned. That's why you're banned. You're gonna put "you people" and quotations and assume that I'm trying to cause division. No, I'm trying to unite this community. You're the one trying to cause division from the ban zone. From the banned zone. So it's not gonna happen. Absolutely not. I am so behind in the chat. Wait, Bear says Jabba brings class to your streams. No, he doesn't. He brings harassment and hatred. He brings a lots of harassment and hatred. You know how this goes. You know how this goes. Yeah. So Osgrace says, I said erotic ghost story, not Chinese ghost story. Responding or typing a night letter. Alice Matt. I'm getting bombarded with night letters. I am a persecuted POC. So I have to keep everything balanced because if not, the kingdom will fall. The kingdom will fall, and I can't let the kingdom fall. Kay says a poll: would you rather watch Hong Kong fake dog shit horror movie 1 or fake dog shit Hong Kong horror movie 2? Some poll. Nobody else suggested a movie. Kay says that is why today I'm going to suggest some movies. We're gonna see this back to normal. I will be suggesting next week's movies, and you guys are gonna pick from those movies. India offers the Trump administration 0 for 0 tariffs on auto parts, steel, and pharmaceuticals. How is that horror movie related?
It's India.
But have you seen Indian? Actually, Indian horror movies. We gotta review one of those one day.
Oh God, no, not the Bollywood shit.
No, there's one that's actually pretty good. It's called Mahakal, which is a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. It's actually pretty good. So that'll be much later on down the road. But
what's horror for a usual Indian citizen? Shitting in the toilet, washing his hands?
Oh gosh, I didn't say that. I disavow. I didn't say that. That was not me. I don't.
I know. The true horror of India is street food.
Is it really that bad over there though?
Yeah, I know people who went there and had full-blown diarrhea.
Oh gosh,
the whole time.
Have I seen? Are you talking about erotic ghost story, Bear? If that's what you're talking about, I have not seen it. No, I have not seen erotic ghost story. We're talking about Chinese ghost story today, and my review at the very least was a lukewarm review of this movie. Trains are the scariest monsters for India. You guys are you're so close-minded and so racist. You people in the chat are so bigoted. Okay, so says, are you gonna suggest Japanese masterpieces like Quiet Anne or Onibaba, or Bollywood musical horror dog shit movies? I'm cultured, KSS. I'm very cultured. You mentioned Onibaba and Quiet Anne, but you don't mention Yokai Spook Warfare, which is a really good Japanese horror movie, or even Majin. I guess some people consider Majin to be horror. That's a great Japanese movie.
Maybe we should do a horror movie from another country.
Well, I'm gonna leave it up to the chat. Here's what we're gonna do. I want to see. Shall we do a horror movie from Japan, from Germany, from the UK? Do you want to do an international movie, or do you guys want to do an American movie?
Oh, please no German. Put Italian in it.
Okay, Italian. Okay, no love for the German horror movies, but okay, Italian.
There is not much there, Elasmet. We talked about Caligari, the only movie who is worthwhile to talk about is maybe Nosferatu, the OG one.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Indian
that.
horror movie. Wait, Indian horror movie do not redeem.
God, that's
What the hell?
funny.
I don't get it. Do not redeem. What was that necessary, Jabby? Was that necessary? And was this necessary, Carol? Was typing that necessary? This is why you're in the ban zone with Guy. Guy, you're in the ban zone. Both of yous.
Guay, Guy.
Gar. I should call him Gar. I'm gonna start calling him Gar. How about
No,
that? Your name is
that
Gar
sounds
now.
like Gore, and Gore is a good movie.
No, I'm gonna call him Gar, not Gore. Gar. Gar.
Grr. Grr. Sounds
go.
like a stroke. Grr.
Stroke. Java says, watch Dog Soldiers.
Oh,
I had
good
okay,
movie.
I've seen the movie twice because the first time I saw it, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. Because I'm very particular with werewolf movies, and people are like, oh, this is a great werewolf movie. I watched the first time and I was kind of underwhelmed by it. I'm like, it's not bad, but it's like,
For me, for
And
me,
then
the
I watched it
best.
the second time. I'm like, okay, I kind of like it. I like it better, but
It's not in my top 3 werewolf movies. That's reserved for Werewolf of Tucker Mills and The Howling and American Werewolf in London.
yeah, I put The Howling. I put yeah, I think I put American Werewolf in London, and I had to put the Wolfman there because Wolfman was it was a trendsetter, and it's a Universal movie, and it was a pretty decent screenplay.
Fri-
Oh no,
Fright Night,
but I would put Bad Moon a close number 4.
Bad Moon, yeah, Bad Moon is good.
Yes, it's actually
Fright Night 1 and 2 also have werewolves, and
they
they have
do they do.
pretty good transformations, especially in the
Yes.
first one.
Michael D. A friend of mine visited India. She had to be medevac out of the region to treat a raging This is not about India's culinary decisions, guys. This is a stream about a horror movie or attempt at a horror movie. Why are you deviating? Stop deviating. Okay, says I like horror movies from all over, just not Hong Kong garbage. They seem to think kung fu has to be in everything, and no Bollywood garbage either. Well, there wasn't any kung fu in this movie, so I think if it was kung fu, I'd like it better. But I think you'll like the 1,000-Year-Old Cat because there's no kung fu in that movie, and it is more of a straight up horror movie than anything in Hong Kong. But we're gonna hold off on the Hong Kong stuff just until we get more familiar with other stuff. I am behind in the chat. Oh wait, Jabba's mad. He says, "Oh, for fuck's sake, well-read anus is here." Oh look. Oh wait. Oh well, there you go. There you go. That's why. Of course he's here. Oh, see, this is horror. This is horror. Well-read says, "I followed your set, Jabba." That's horror. Total horror. So. Did you hear that half of CG wants to beat me up at Heroes Con? Are you happy now? So they're gonna beat up Bo Red. So there's that. I guess there's some silver lining to all this. Maybe you should take tallies on who gets to beat up Bo Red first. So wait, Dyson Terry is horrifying. Is that an actual Indian movie?
It would fit.
I think I'm missing something. I don't know. The only thing I know about India is that their street food vendors are pretty sanitary. Okay, how did this get to be a conversation about India? We're talking about a Hong Kong horror movie.
You
How did it get
started
be-
to talk about Indian horror movies.
one mention of an Indian horror movie, and y'all took it to that level about India's culinary practices and sanitation lifestyle. Like, this is not that stream. We are diverse here. We are open-minded, and we are cultured. Respect the cultures, you people. We're supposed to be kind and unified here.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my Indians. And I mean the Indian, not the American Indians, but the Indian Indians. Shout out to the Indian Indians. Boris is so glad this chat's my back. Oh no, I didn't mean to give that impression. I'm looking forward to seeing people beat you up. I'm looking forward to that. So, shout out to the people that are looking to beat up Bull Red. Hit me up. I will buy you a meal somewhere. Maybe at White Castle. I don't know. Who cares?
So you are comic skate again, Desmond.
You know how dare you say that? How dare you? You know, I kicked the wrong button. There you go. He had a technical issue, guys. Sorry, his internet messed up. So, have you learned your lesson now?
Hail Caesar.
Someone's gonna clip that and they're gonna say it's my stream. And like, no, I did not. I didn't endorse it. I didn't allow it. Can you stop getting me canceled? Stop it.
Okay.
I'm
Calm your
diverse.
tits stuck, man.
My what now?
You should calm down.
I am not a neckbeard.
Like Frankie Goes to Hollywood says, relax.
Relax. Soon we got to some cultures are better though.
Yeah, I mean,
There's idiots who threaten to beat you up, so dirty fatty. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be too busy having fun, so let it happen because that's what content is for.
wait, what? Where and when? On Heroes Con?
Heroes Con's gonna be interesting. It really is because some people that can't take criticism are threatening now violence.
Wait,
Apparently.
they really want to show up at Heroes Con?
Well, here's the thing: it's a convention, so they're not gonna allow that crap. Like they're really not gonna allow that crap. So people are gonna be there having a good time, and they're gonna be there with families and buying all kinds of merch and books. So they can talk a good game, but it ain't gonna happen. At the end of the day, people are gonna be there to have fun. So, okay, it says Kung Fu is fine if it doesn't look cartoonish silly. Too many Kung Fu movies look stupid. Yeah, you know, I think you're talking about the later movies, KSS, the ones that really rely on like strings, the wuxia that goes overboard.
I like the silly kung fu ones, like Drunken Master with Jackie Chan.
I think that one's more grounded because Jackie Chan's choreography is pretty good and doesn't rely too much on the string stuff, on the wiry stuff.
And if we are talking about goofy kung fu movies, Kung Fu Hustle was over the top, but it was also a very, very good movie and very funny too.
Yeah, no, Drunken Master was pretty good. Drunken Master was pretty good.
Haven't you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
I have. I saw it with Lady Shadow Band was one that actually introduced me to Kung Fu Hustle. That was silly, but it was funny silly because it was a balls to the wall comedy. That movie.
Yeah, but it also has very good fighting scenes and a good
Yeah.
story.
Yes, it does. Yes, it did. Ironbeck says this movie was fun to watch with you guys. Well, that's the point of the watch parties is we're not just watching a movie, but we're just hanging and watching a movie. We're hanging out. Guys, gay. I'm gonna call you gay. Gay says Puerto Rico's scariest horror movies is every alive man stream, and that's why you're gay. Your name is Gay. Gay in his room. That's your name going forward. Gay. Gay. There you go. Matt Barr says Hero Con or Hirokin.
Oh, is Matt Barr coming? Matt,
He's
are you
leading
going
on it.
to Heroes Con?
He's leading on it. So as far as I know, well, yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to be lit. Here, a lot of people are going to be going to Heroes Con, and I'm all for it. I'm there to have fun and say hi to people, shake hands. You know what I'm saying? And just sell books. And I know I'm going to sell books, so I'm going to have to get some extra books printed for in June to bring down to Heroes Con because I know I'm going to sell some books. I'm almost positive of it. So, will Carol show up? No, she will not. Bear, she will not show up and flip tables at me. It's going to be peace and love. Peace and love. You hear what I'm saying? No, that's not happening. I'm not allowing it. I have veto power.
No, you don't.
I veto.
No.
Veto.
No.
I'm exercising my power. I can do that. I'm
I'll
allowed.
change her mind if you take me to the spa.
I'm okay. Well, see, I'm being blackmailed. I'm being blackmailed in my own stream. This is not right. Being blackmailed. Oh wait, I'm behind the chat. Okay. Matt Barnes, here comes the World Star for sure. That would be kind of silly. And here's the thing: I'm not gonna get myself banned, so I'm there to have fun, hang out with cool people, and then the after party is gonna be just chilling and hanging out, and having fun, and that's it.
Hey,
Come up with words.
I would pay good money to see Matt Barr beating up some comic skaters at Heroes Con.
So no, no one's actually threatened me, KSS. I doubt it. Like I really do. Oh wait, he says he's got my bait. Wait, there is writing it as a show choir coming for you. Who's coming? A show choir? When did this happen? Wait, what show choir is coming for me? We have a love in the chat for Kung Fu Hustle.
Good.
Shaolin Soccer was pretty solid too, Helmut. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one. Silly, but really good.
I'm catching up in the chat. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, I think I'm almost caught up. No, Count, why are you doing this? You're not allowed to put that link in the chat. You're banned. So, guys, Carol's in the ban zone. So, if she's putting that link in the chat, do not click it. It's a violation of the terms of service of this chat room policy. Do not click on her links. She's banned. So, don't do it. We're trying to be unified here. So, that is the name of the game here. That's the name of the game. These guys in the chat are hilarious. It's just.
They're in a good mood tonight.
And they should be. You absolutely should be in a good mood. See, Osgray says, I threatened you last night. Didn't you get my nightlight? See, Osgray said, I get nightlighters all the time. So if you sent me one, it's probably buried in the sea of hatred that I keep getting. I serve you guys with these contents, and this is how I get repaid by you people. All you people. So I don't know if I should just retire and just go away for good. Because you people want me DED. Like that thumbnail says. They want me DED, Helmut.
It's tough love. Let's admit.
So KSS, I think I'm going to show KSS the trailer for Encounters of Spooky Kind, so you can see that it's not all silly. Not all good kung fu movies that are horror hybrid are silly. I really still swear on that one. I swear on that one. Oh, what Red's degenerate? Why am I? Okay. I got to deviate a bit from William Red's degeneracy here. Let me go look for the trailer for Encounters of the Spooky Kind. Okay, let me see here. Encounters of the Spooky Kind, and I want to find let's see here. A good trailer for it. This is from Eureka. Let me see if this has I think I even played it too. But I want to play a good trailer.
In your shitty quality.
You're so mean to me, Homo. I didn't ask for this.
Hey, I'm not the guy with the shitty internet.
Okay, I'll play this way. Is this a good shot to play? Let me see. No, that's this one. I think I'm gonna find like one of the fight scenes in the movie, and we'll play that. Let's see here. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is a clip from Encounters of Spooky Kind. Now, I don't know if I should. I may have to play it without the sound effect. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen here. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, so now KSS, I want you to see this. Okay, this is a scene where Sammo Hung's character, Courageous Chung, who took a bet, is trying to survive the night by keeping a hopping vampire in the coffin. But what happened is he was supposed to be getting 30 hen eggs, but he only got 40 and he only got 20 hen eggs, and he was given 10 chicken eggs. And the chicken eggs ends up not working, and well, hilarity ensues. Let me go to lower this a bit. Just fast forward a little bit. Get to the good part. There you go. Now watch. Watch the come through here. There you go. Look at the choreography. This to me, this is a great midnight movie. I may watch it tonight. Actually, I need to feel good. So. This is it's awesome choreography and fun. So I would like to see what the guys in the chat think about this. And look, I mean, all kung fu is silly. At the end of the day, so all kung fu in movies are silly because it's not even real fighting. It's choreography. So there is no kung fu in the movie that is not silly because it's all choreographed. Like a real fight would be like done in like 10, 15 seconds. But I'm just curious to see what people have to say about this. So let's see here. Scroll down to the chat. Scroll down in the chat. Oz Gray says Samo's a legend. Samo's great. Bullying is for poor. It says well read. Has nothing to do with the movie, but fine, I'll allow it. Why not? Let's see. Samo's always doing slapstick comedy. Cass says. Okay, so Cass says it's still silly. I think Alarsmart. You know what? Stay banned. Stay banned. Gay. Stay banned. John says that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't know what that means, but everything here is dumb. So I'm going to disavow you just because there's no intelligent conversation with you. You're disavowed. You know, why can't I just have a conversation about movies without you coming into this chat, Jabby, and ruining it? Why do you ruin shit? How about saying, you know what, you have a good point, and then offer that opinion with a well-detailed thesis on why you came to that conclusion? No, you want to say everything is stupid. It's all dumb. All of it. You can never have a good stream. Ever. Ever. I don't know what that means.
You should do what the shady, scaly lizard did and de-wrench everybody.
Oh, look, Karen. Oh, Karen wants to get nasty. Oh, come down, Alas May. Come down, Alas May. You sound. I bet you got cathartic typing that, right? Well, it's not gonna affect me, Carol. It's not gonna touch me. You know why? Because I don't let it affect me. I am who I am. I'm real. I exist. I have a name. I'm sentient. You can't hurt me with your typed up words in the chat, Carol. This was a horror stream, wasn't it? I think it was.
It still is.
I thought so. Yeah. I was showing this as an example of good kung fu in a horror movie, a horror comedy in this case. But I would like to know from the chat. Let's okay. I'm gonna let the chat just throw some names in the chat. Throw some words. Titles. Some titles of what you'd like me to cover. Like let's give it more to like monsters. So what monster movie? Since I titled the streams Monday Monster Moratorium after you guys boycotted my genius title, after you boycotted it, and I acquiesced.
I'm confused, Peanut Head. Didn't you want to do a poll in from which country we should cover a movie for the next week?
Well, okay. See, the polls are getting me in trouble because I do polls and then I get persecuted because we didn't agree to that. I'm like, but you suggested it. I'm going by your polls. I'm going by what you my polls are based on your suggestions.
Hey, I'm German. I always hate the polls.
I didn't mean like that. I disavow. Anyway, looking at the chat, KS says Old Boy's a Korean movie. Very good and disturbing one. Not the homosexual dance that last one thinks looks neato. Aha! There's this ghost story.
Old Boy is not a horror movie. It's a drama.
That's because they're deviating. They're sabotaging my stream. Razorback 1984. Okay, that's one movie. We could do Razorback. I guess. Let's see. I guess. So we have Ghost Story 1981, Razorback 1984, but I'm not spurging. I'm giving my thoughtful opinions, and my emotion is valid, Bear. Don't invalidate my emotions. At least my name isn't Yip, or Nip, or Yin, or Ying.
We should totally do another Goofy movie to solely piss off KSSS.
I sure. You know, I'm done. I'm gonna piss off KSS now because I try to acquiesce, but he don't want to acquiesce. He just wants to fight and be a jerk. So I'm calling you a jerk, Cass. Now you're the jerk. Now you're a jerk. How about that? How about that?
Like I said before, I would totally be down for an Italian horror movie again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. You guys want to do an Italian horror movie? Let's see some titles in the chat. Some Italian horror movies. Let's see what Italian horror movies you want me to cover.
Or if you want to talk about monster movies from foreign countries, do a Paul Naschy stuff movie.
Oh, I mean like the Count Voldemort movies.
Yeah, those kind of movies. Yeah, he did a lot of those movies.
Okay, I want Jabby banned. So guys, do your thing. Let's show we're united front here. Ban Jabby so his comments don't take power. We are united and we are loving. You guys don't care about my content, do you? You really don't. Now you guys are talking about Forrest Gump in the chat. Really? How did they get to Forrest Gump? I mean, granted, they bring him up in my last video, but that's not the point. That's not the point. KS says a zombie.
Which one?
I'm guessing he means the first Lucio Fucci zombie.
Which one is that? City of the Living Dead?
No, okay, so it's okay, I see the confusion. So I don't know how it was really.
Oh, it's Hoodoo, Schreckensinsel der Zombies.
What?
That's the movie where the zombie fights the shark.
Yes, that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know what that movie is about.
Okay. So there's Zombie, which was released as Zombie 2 in Italy, I believe, because they released Dawn of the Dead as Zombie 1. So Fuji's Zombie is kind of unofficially a sequel to Romero's Dawn of the Dead in Italy, but it's not really canon overall, but it was kind of marketed as such.
Yeah, I mean the end scene on the bridge gives it away that it's kind of connected to Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. I mean, it could work. It does work,
But to be fair, Lucio Fulci's zombie has a better splatter effect.
it does. There's some very good shock effects in that movie. Wait, Imrex says, I heard from a reliable source, Prime is 3D printing duck down. What? Did you actually type this, Imrex? Did you type that?
I mean, he's Prime's life partner, Les Man.
Oh, gosh, that's true. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we have Zombie in the chat.
Razorback, did somebody say?
It was Razorback in 1984. So we have Zombie from 1979, Razorback from 84. What are the movies in the chat? Do you guys want to do a classic horror movie? Classic, like going back to like the 30s and 40s. Oh, there's not many horror movies in the 40s, so we're looking at the 30s, especially the pre-code 30s, but mostly the 30s.
I mean, the Paul. How old is the Paul Naschy stuff? The Paul Naschy movies, are they from the 70s or from the 60s?
They're from the late 60s and they go into the early 80s. And we could probably do that one that was on the Video Nasties list. What was that one? Night of the Beast?
Oh yeah. The one where he plays the hunchback.
Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one I think with the killer Bigfoot or something. It was weird, but yeah, it made the Video Nasties list. So that one sticks out because of it.
He did a lot of movies.
You guys are typing some weirdo shit in the chat. I'm afraid for my life. I really am afraid for my life that you're typing all this weirdo stuff in the chat. Like we're supposed to be. So check this out. We're supposed to be a healthy community, healthy, right? But you guys aren't following along. You whatever you're doing, it's wicked. I know it fits in the tone of the streams, but still, it's wicked. I don't know. Okay, it says 1932, Dr. Jekyll and the Star. Yeah, that one, the pre-code one was very good. That's a good one to cover, I think, with Frederick March. That movie actually ended up being censored after the code. I mean, you can get it uncensored, but it is a fascinating movie, and to a lot of people, it was considered the best of the Jekyll and Hyde movies. So there's that. Okay, so I think that's a good one to put in there. So let me do a poll right now. Am I allowed to do a poll? Can I do a poll, people? I'm gonna do a poll. Okay? You can't do nothing about it. So shut your trap. Shut your. I mean, I'm getting ready to do the poll now because you people in the community mean a lot to me. So next week's movie, it'll either be Zombie from 1979. Do I want to do Razorback though? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll do Razorback. Let's put Razorback in the.
It is a creature movie, Lasman.
I suppose Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1932. Any other suggestions before I start the poll?
I would say The Invisible Man from 1933.
Let's put Invisible Man from 1933. Okay, let me see. Invisible Man. Okay, those are our 4 choices. Okay. So there we go. There we go. There's your poll in the chat. So let's start voting, guys. Vote in the chat, in the poll right now. Yeah, I read about that version, and I'm very intrigued to see it. So now this is if the chat ends up winning that movie, I may just buy the Blu-ray and watch it from there because I've been intrigued about watching it ever since I read about it. So that would be a good time for me to really sit down and watch it. The last one has only 14 viewers because he said a Chinese ghost story in the title, and everyone's like, "Ew, what now?" Well, here's what now, Jabby. You're banned. Now you're banned. Join Gay and Carol in the ban zone. That's where you belong now. So to Carol and Gay, welcome Jabby, your son, into the ban zone. You can have your little sick family in there now because he's banned. Absolutely banned. Can you please? Warred says, "Can you please get your dumb paw off my screen? Thanks." Well, Warred, there's a little button called the X. Hit it and end it. How about that? End it. What's going on the poll? Let's see. We have 6. Okay, so we have 6. Okay, this is pathetic. 6 votes. I may have. Okay, my screen says 15 watching. So that means there's 9 of you that didn't vote. The 9 that didn't vote, vote. Vote. So far, Jekyll and Hyde are in the lead, which I'm actually excited about. What is Razorback? It's about a monster warthog who goes around and kills people in Australia. So you may have a very perverted interest in that one. Monster warthogs in Australia. Reported for telling Red to end himself. I told him to end the screen. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that Jabby cared that much about Red. Apparently, there's a love-hate relationship between those two. Apparently. Razorback is a giant pig Aussie. Yeah, he's a warthog. Is he a warthog? Let me see. Is Razorback a warthog or a pig?
Not exactly.
And before people say, "Oh, they're the same creature," no, warthogs. I know warthogs are in the pig family, but they're not really pigs. Warthogs are separate. They're in the same family, but they are warthogs. Let me see. I'm looking at what the. Okay, it's a boar, a wild boar, not a warthog. It's a boar. In case you guys know what a boar is, there you go. That's a boar. Look at that. So. Interesting how like warthogs, boars, and pigs are in the same family. It's amazing, isn't it? It's nature is a wondrous, fantastical thing when you deep dive into all this and see how the creatures are related and what families they're in and how they add to the fully functioning ecosystem that keeps us
All I see,
alive.
Elasmet, is bacon.
I'm trying to be cultured. Can you let these freaking creatures live, Helmut?
But they taste so good.
I don't care if they taste good. I'm trying to be cultured and trying to be relevant. Why do you have to ruin my stream with food? Stop it. Okay, it says Invisible Man is dope. He actually has the most kills out of the early monsters. Well, there you go. That's a feral pig. Oz Great Sage.
Yep.
We share a connection of both losing wrenches on DG's channel. Oh, you lost. Oh, that's right. You were one of the first to lose a wrench on Dark Gift channel, Java. So you and Well Red should form your own community of the wrenchless. That you know what? I just did something there. I started something there. There you go. It only takes 3 generations of pigs to revert back to boar, says Manicore. So boars are the original. Are the originals? Is that what it is? And then pigs deviated from that. That's kind of fascinating.
I mean, look at that thing. That looks like Ice Age monstrosity.
Boars definitely look like they can definitely survive better in the wild than pigs can. I wouldn't say I'm in love with them or anything like that. Sorry, Jabby, you wrote that. You typed it, so we can assume it now. So can't do anything about it. Sorry. Stop speaking wistfully about animals. You'll excite. Oh crap!
Yeah.
I know. Ugh. That's exactly my thoughts. Exactly. 9 votes. Okay, there are 6 of you that haven't voted. Those 6 of you that haven't voted, please just vote. I think the winning movie may have been decided, but just vote anyway. Just do it. It's good for my ego. If you didn't vote, vote. Walred's having a fat day. I'm so depressing, no one will bang me now. You know what's funny, Walred? If anybody in this chat or in this community wants to be an asshole, all they gotta do is just take a screenshot of this with the boar in the background this year, and your life would be ended. You'll be memed. You'll be memed to oblivion. But I didn't type that. You did. You wanted to type it with a wild boar. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go. There. Now it's complete. There you go. I just gotta screenshot this. Not do a damn thing. Just screenshot this, and there's a meme for the ages. Tell me I'm wrong. You know I'm right.
I crave pork cracklings now because of you.
I don't know what I did, but you're putting that evil on me. And see, look, Gay understands the humor. See, there you go.
do you like animal themed horror movies?
Not all of them. Some, but not all.
Have you seen Horror Alligator?
Okay, so before I answer that question, yeah, I did see Alligator. Alligator was pretty cool. But before I go into it, so we have 12 votes in the chat, and Razorback and Jekyll and Hyde are tied.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we need 3 more of you to vote.
I bring Prime in here to do the poll.
Yeah, if you guys are Democrats, bring a bunch of illegals into the chat and vote. let's break the tying vote. Come on, let's do it. Or if you know someone that's dead, then vote for them because that apparently counts too. Come on, let's break the vote. The tying vote. Unleash the alt, says Gay. Yeah, so if you have alts, sign into your alt accounts and vote. Let's break the tying vote. Kaz says Primer votes zombie. Gee's gonna vote again for Razor. So Jekyll and Hyde was in the lead, but now Razorback is kind of taking the lead. Well, not taking the lead. It's come back and tied. Okay, so nobody's gonna vote. Okay, now we got to. Okay, so we got 13 votes, and Razorback took the lead.
Yeah, because I voted for it. I went to the
Oh,
chat.
you manipulated the votes.
Sorry?
All right, so we need 2 more votes. Let's get 2 more votes, and let's see if Razorback wins or if Jekyll and Hyde will come back and steal the win. Let's see. Can it happen?
That's all your fault. You started this delicious pork talk.
Speaking of
And I love
Cox,
pork.
speaking of Pox, Guy says riggers. Well, it's gotta happen, gay. It's gotta happen. We don't want tying votes. We need to break the tie. No, I'm not saying that, but he already voted. I can't do anything about it. He voted. What can I tell you?
I have the right to vote.
I didn't say you did it. But why? You see, they want to start. They want to start strife between me and you because we're a united front, and we stand against the hatred of this chat, and they can't stand that, so they have to cause division because it makes their miserable lives meaningful.
Hey, they don't make jokes about me. Do they?
No, they don't.
See?
Okay, so look, going back to the poll. Okay, I'm gonna leave it up for another minute.
Yeah,
There's still two of you that
let's
haven't voted.
let's
What?
continue to talk about animal horror movies.
There's some good ones. You know, Alligator was good. I haven't seen Razorback, so I guess if it wins, then that's the reason for us to watch it. So,
I really like Shakma,
which one is
the
that?
movie with the mutated mandrill ape.
Oh, okay.
That's a really good one, and for meme and laughing purposes, frogs.
Okay. Okay.
Because that movie is retarded.
Well, I'm sold. Wait, John says we don't make jokes about Helmet. We don't want to start World War III.
Smart one.
Well, he is currently being overrun by Saracens, so I guess he can't have a war on multiple fronts.
No.
Gay, I am not doing such a thing. This is nature. I can't help it if there's a book about these things. I can't help it, but this is nature. By the way, that book made $300,000.
Oh God, why?
Did this book make $300,000? I'm asking for a friend. Did it?
No, but it made $17,000, which is way too much for this horse shit.
$17,000. I'm gonna bite my tongue on that one. I'm gonna do it.
Just say it's crap, Elasman. Nobody is killing you if you say it did.
Oh no. Listen, I keep my streams separate for a reason. I reserve my opinions for certain things on separate streams and videos because that's just the way to do it. Like I don't have to have an opinion on everything in one spot. I can separate it and put it where it belongs because that's the way you bring eyes to certain things. That's just how I'm going to do it. So, wait, we don't make fun of Helmet. Wait, he didn't suggest a Chinese ghost story, did he?
I totally did, and I stand by that. You can laugh about me all you want, but I still like this movie.
Okay, it looks like the two people that are not voting are just going to lurk and just going to let the results stand. So it looks like it's going to be. It looks like next week's movie is going to be Razorback from 1984. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh look, Gay's going to sue for libel. Your career is over. Good. What is that? Discovery. I can't wait for Discovery. You're gonna. The Discovery on you is going to be so awesome. It won't be, but still, I just like to say it because I want to feel like I'm potent enough to intimidate you into silence because That's what comic book people in the space do. They intimidate their critics into silence. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna feel potent and relevant. I can do that, right? Am I allowed helmet? I can do that, right?
You can do everything you want. The
I
world
know.
is open. The world is open, my friend.
I'm important.
To yourself, yes.
I mean something, helmet. I mean a lot.
Yeah, you make us laugh. You
I'm
bring us
valuable.
all together to dunk on you.
I'm very valuable as a relevant
Peanut
voice in this
duck
community.
person of color.
That was not necessary. I was trying to tell people how relevant and significant I am, and you totally have to undo that with this hostile verbiage towards me.
I see myself kind of as the voice of the chat.
I
So
don't I don't I don't I don't know if how I feel about that now. Like geese, goose, gas, gar. I think your name's gonna be Gar now. Your name is Gar now.
Gouet.
I'm gonna call him Gar. You are finished, Alars. That's why I'm calling him Gar. He's calling me Alars Mart. Okay, Gar. Now it's work, Gar.
Oh god, that's
Chatting
good.
from the band zone. The live action pop, I mean, was more of a horror film than the Chinese ghost story. Kansas is really mad. He's really tight about this.
He's kind of right, because that Popeye movie was the last nail in Shelley Duvall's acting career coffin.
Oh, really? That movie?
Yeah, was a
Huh.
box office flop.
Well, no, it was, but I didn't know that I didn't know that it ultimately ended her career.
Yeah, she was already on the outs when she did that movie, and that movie killed really the last bit of her acting career.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting trivia there. So we
Yeah, I
said
mean,
ready to go back.
she was already a nutcase after what Stanley Kubrick did to her while they filmed The Shining.
That's true too. Yes, that is true. Actually, that movie is why a lot of independent filmmakers shoot 20 freaking takes of the same shot because they want to be auteurs and they want to be a perfectionist. I'm like, no, motherfucker, just shoot the shot. If it's good, move on to the next shot. And I say this because I'm an editor for a lot of these movies, and I'm like, it's frustrating. You'll spend 5 hours editing one scene because some douchebag cinematographer who wanted to feel important wanted to shoot 20 shots of the same take because reasons. It's like, no, you wear out the actors. They want to move forward. It's stupid.
Yeah, I
That's not
mean, in the Shining case, they did it on purpose to get the real reaction of a terrified woman in Shelley Duvall, but it wasn't really fair to her. What Stanley Kubrick did to her and what
yeah.
Jack Nicholson did to her.
Yeah. That's I think that's part of why that movie stood the test of time because the movie itself, like horrific as it was, the behind the scenes was just as shocking and so forth. So, but KSS has Shelley Duvall finally got the role that was perfect for her, and it ended her career. Interesting. I didn't know about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, tragic,
Uh,
because Shelley Duvall was perfect as Olive Oil.
that movie was good casting overall. A lot of that was one of the best casted movies ever. Like every character that was cast in that movie was perfect for their roles. It's a shame that the scripting was shit.
Yeah, the story was not good. That was
Making
the
that movie into
problem.
a musical was a horrible idea.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
the 90s.
it was a horrible. Okay, so guys, the polls ended. Next week is going to be Razorback from 1984. So we're going to check out some Aussie wild boars mutilating people, and that's where we're at. So on that note, it is 9:42. I think I will call it a chat or a stream for today. Any last words?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize, because Chinese Ghost Story had a mixed reaction here in the chat. I want to emphasize what Asian people did for the horror movie genre in general. We wouldn't have those really good special effects in the 80s if it wasn't for guys like Screaming Mad George. We wouldn't have experimental movies if it wasn't for Tetsuo the Body Hammer, for example. The Asians did a lot of good stuff for the horror movie genre.
Angel, we spoke about the movie during the first 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We actually, we did. And you know, it was interesting conversation, but there wasn't much more you could say about it because, yeah, it was an interesting movie. But, you know, the consensus was it didn't feel like a horror movie. And then it led into a conversation about other movies, and then pigs and boars and Jabba and War Red getting married because they have the riches, and here we are. So this is the type of stream we have. This is the stream of consciousness. This stream of consciousness that leads to this. So, Kay says, any last words? Yeah, take Lady Shadowman to a real spot, you jerk. And this is why I'm going to end it all, because Kay says you'll never be happy. Never be happy. John says we're not getting married. You must. Okay, that's fornication, Jabby. That's fornication. Be honest. Make y'all both honest. It's good for the world. So, on that note, Helmut.
Ja.
I'll see you next week for Razorback.
Bis nächste Woche. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yep. Guten Tag, Entenmann and Jemima.
Gute Nacht, Entenmann.